Welcome to HSE with Sustainable EHS Consulting, the podcast where we explore the crucial aspects of health and safety. This time, we will focus on the construction industry. I'm Barbara Dereka, and today we are diving into one of the key legislation of construction safety in the UK, the Construction Design and Management Regulations, or CDM for short. Whether you are a construction professional, an employer, or just someone curious about how safety is managed in such a high-risk industry, this episode is for you. Let's start by understanding what CDM regulations are and why they are so important. The Construction Design and Management Regulations were first introduced in 1994, but they've undergone significant updates since then, with the most recent version coming into effect in 2015. CDM regulations are a set of legal requirements that apply to all construction projects in the UK, from minor home renovations to large-scale infrastructure projects. The primary aim of CDM is simple yet profound: to improve the overall safety of construction projects by integrating health and safety considerations into the design, planning, and management stages of the project. In other words, CDM ensures that safety is not an afterthought, but a fundamental part of the process from the very beginning. But what exactly do these regulations cover? CDM outlines specific duties for everyone involved in construction projects. That includes clients, designers, contractors, and workers. Each of these roles carries its own set of responsibilities aimed at reducing risks and ensuring the project is completed safely. Let's break down the key roles under CDM and what each one is responsible for. First up, we have the clients. Under CDM, clients are more than just the people who finance the project. They have legal responsibility to make sure that the health and safety are considered throughout the project. This means appointing the right people to manage the work, ensuring that sufficient time and resources are allocated, and making sure there is a clear line of communication between everyone involved. Next, we have the designers. This includes architects, engineers, and any other professionals involved in the design phase. Designers are tasked with identifying, eliminating, or reducing health and safety risks right from the planning stage. This could involve choosing safe materials, planning out the safest way to execute certain tasks, or even considering how the finished building will be used and maintained. Importantly, designers must also ensure that their designs comply with relevant safety regulations. Now, for larger projects, the client must appoint a principal designer and a principal contractor. The principal designer oversees the pre-construction phase, ensuring that health and safety are integrated into the design and planning stages. Meanwhile, the principal contractor is responsible for the construction phase, making sure the work is carried out safely and in accordance with the construction phase plan. Contractors and workers also have their roles clearly defined under CDM. Contractors must plan, manage, and monitor their work to ensure it's carried out safely. This includes everything from setting up safe systems of work to providing adequate training and supervision for their workers. Workers, on the other hand, are responsible for following the safety instructions provided to them, using the protective equipment they've been given, and reporting any safety concerns they may have. As you can see, CDM creates a comprehensive framework that makes safety a shared responsibility. But how does this work in practice? Let's explore some best practices and real-world applications of CDM. Implementing CDM effectively requires more than just ticking boxes. It's about fostering a culture of safety throughout the entire construction process. Here are some best practices that can help ensure CDM compliance. One of the most effective strategies is to involve all key parties, clients, designers, contractors, and workers, as early as possible. Early collaboration ensures that everyone understands their responsibilities from the outset and that safety considerations are integrated into every stage of the project. For example, early-stage risk assessments can help identify potential hazards before they become real problems. Communication is another critical component. Clear and consistent communication channels should be established from the start. Regular meetings, clear documentation, and open lines of communication between all parties can prevent misunderstandings and ensure that everyone is on the same page. This is particularly important when it comes to conveying safety information and ensuring that any changes to the project plan are communicated effectively. Risk assessments are a legal requirement under CDM, but they are also a best practice for ensuring safety. These assessments should be thorough, covering not just the obvious hazards but also those that might arise during maintenance or demolition work. Remember, a good risk assessment doesn't just identify risks, it also puts in place measures to control or eliminate them. Ensuring that everyone on site is properly trained and competent to do their job is another key aspect of CDM. This means not only providing training but also regularly reviewing and updating it to reflect new risks, technologies, and practices. A competent workforce is a safe workforce, and under CDM it's the duty of employees to ensure their workers are up to the task. Finally, let's not forget the importance of documentation. CDM requires the certain documents like the construction phase plan and health and safety file, and they should be maintained throughout the project. These documents should be detailed, accurate, and accessible to those who need them. Proper record keeping is not just about compliance, it's about creating a reference that can be used to improve safety on the future projects. To bring these principles to life, let's look at a few real-world examples where CDM regulations have made a significant impact. One notable example is the construction of the Crossrail project in London. As one of the largest infrastructure projects in Europe, Crossrail has set new benchmarks for CDM implementation. From the start, the project incorporated detailed risk assessments and rigorous safety protocols. The principal designer and the principal contractor worked closely with all parties to ensure that safety was at the forefront of every decision. The result? A project was not only stayed on track but also maintained a very good safety record. On a smaller scale, consider a residential building project in Manchester where CDM was applied effectively. The client, a small property developer, ensured that both the principal designer and principal contractor were involved from early stages of the project. By conducting thorough risk assessments and maintaining clear communication channels, the project was completed without any major incidents, proving that CDM is just as crucial for small projects as it is for large ones. These examples highlight how effective CDM implementation can lead to safer, more efficient projects. But it's not just about the big wins, it's about the everyday commitment to safety that CDM fosters across the industry. Of course, implementing CDM is not without its challenges. One of the biggest hurdles is ensuring compliance across the board, especially on smaller projects where resources may be limited. There's also an ongoing challenge of keeping up with changes in regulations and ensuring that all parties are fully trained and informed. Looking ahead, the future of CDM will likely involve more digital tools to aid in planning and communication, such as building information modeling and safety management software. These tools can make it easier to track safety requirements and ensure that nothing falls through the cracks. But no matter how technology evolves, the core principles of CDM will remain the same, ensuring that safety is integrated into every aspect of construction, from design to completion. As we've discussed today, CDM regulations are more than just a legal requirement. They are a vital part of ensuring that construction projects in the UK are carried out safely and successfully. By understanding and applying the principles of CDM, everyone involved in a construction project can contribute to a safer working environment. Whether you are a client, a designer, a contractor, or a worker, remember that safety is a shared responsibility. And by working together and staying informed, we can build not just structures, but a safe future for everyone in construction industry. Thank you for joining me on the episode of HSC with Sustainable EHS Consulting. If you find this discussion helpful, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Feel free to share this episode with colleagues who might benefit from a deeper understanding of CDM. And as always, stay safe out there. Until next time, I'm Barbara Dreka, and this has been HSC with Sustainable EHS Consulting.